We are in crypto to better ourselves, cycle to cycle, and as both investors, traders, whatever you want to be. And I can tell you right now, I have developed an amazing system that actually literally calls tops and bottoms. So if you have a look at this red dot here on the state of Bitcoin, this red dot was printed on the 6th of May. And what happened quite shortly afterwards, the price corrected. However, the one that I want to share with you is probably what you're all wondering right now. What's going on the macro weekly? And you can see here, after printing a red dot in October, what we had is a major print on the bottom here on the 2nd of February. And you can see it coincided, this green dot here coincided with the Bitcoin bottom. But you might be wondering what's going on right now. Where's Bitcoin going? And in my opinion, this kind of price action currently would suggest there is a bit more room because, you know, crypto can stay overbought or oversold for a significant period. But what I'm waiting for right now is the appearance of a new red dot, potentially to reverse Bitcoin into the macro lows and maybe perhaps to test this $60,000 level again. If that prints in the next few days, the chances are this is going to roll over, and the price action would mean for most people who don't obviously have any visual, any kind of, you don't actually know what's going on apart from somebody saying it's going to go up or down. We printed the green dot here back in February. We printed a red dot in October, and now I'm expecting a potentially Bitcoin to print another red dot around this area and for the price to come back potentially to test the lows again. That would be the scientific way of doing it. Of course, nobody knows. However, I can say that with a degree of certainty, considering that we've got the perfect green dot here, it is likely to be going through another set of a correction. But what's going on right now? Well, you can see here, liquidity is actually to the upside. You're looking at the 3-day liquidity heat map, and there are stacks of short liquidations above $80,000. And that's what I expected to see. So has your favorite coin flipped bullish yet? By the way, you can join our DXB community as well, where we are deploying AI. I'm actually still using Claude to scalp the markets. You can see here, I'm talking to Claude to precisely run trades directly on Hyperliquid. I know some of you have obviously commented on this, but just for the purpose of the video, what I would say to Claude is we need an urgent trade to test our strategy. The magic of Opus 4.7 is absolutely incredible. I mean, we've got all kinds of AI tools right now. We're using Nansen, we're using Claude, we're using many different. Of course, I've developed one of the best indicators to obviously spot tops and bottoms and buy opportunities. And I'll just show you as an example with few of your favorite altcoins and exactly what's happening. So Claude Opus 4.7 has literally changed my life, and I hope that you can obviously learn and start to use AI as soon as possible, because without AI in the next kind of 5 years, 10 years, all of this will be automated. And right now, this is an automated trade with a bot that I've specifically built, right? So you can see the bot here. It's called a DXB trading bot. What it does is it basically notifies me on all of the different trades that it's going to take autonomously and independently. So, you know, at the moment, I've just been adding to the strategy, of course. But imagine if you can trade 24/7, 365. I mean, it's going to give you a scan. It's going to tell you how many coins it's watching and so forth and so forth. It is absolutely mind-blowing to really start to understand how to connect these dots. And of course, hopefully, I would have Claude triggering it, pulling a couple of profitable trades that it is going to execute shortly. The ones that I've shared in Discord, again, I love my group because there are amazing characters there. shout out to all the boys. But if you look over here under resources, what we've done is the initial MCP setup. These were the successful trades that the bot executed. So, on Hyperliquid, I've created a spot grid, which is very good. And then, of course, it was taking all of these independently, just notifying me when it pulls in the P&L. And it did really well. It did really, really well. And it is, of course, it's free to set up, but you just have to really know what you're doing in terms of the trades. But all of these buys and sells have been completely automated by the DXB trading bot. So hopefully when I go back into Claude, and it will look something like this, right? It would, it'd give me the feedback on exactly what it's doing. And I'm actually building a terminal interface, which is going to track everything. So if you look over here, it's coming up with, it's giving me no signals. And of course, let me allow it. So it's gonna say why it's not taking signals. And as always, it gives you the reasonings as to why if you don't see anything here. It says, my read, I'm waiting for basically the right execution. Do not FOMO. It's using all natural language to tell me why it's not pulling trades. But what I really want is to turn this into a proper trading desk. So if you look at this live dashboard here, you could give it as much as you want. When it makes profit, you take it, you spend it in your daily lives. And of course, over time, I would like to give it around $5,000. But since it's pulling trades as a test at the moment, what I want to do is I want to make it as active as possible. So it does log this, and I've created a dashboard for it. And these are some closed positions that it's just testing out at the moment. And of course, overall, it will report open positions, signals, and of course, P&L. Now, the idea is to make money in the market without really, really being involved 24/7 in terms of how you are trading. All right. So let's go back to some of your favorite altcoins on the weekly. And again, one of the strongest coins in the business is the Binance coin that has not printed a sell signal. But this is Ethereum right now. You could see, again, Ethereum printed a major macro low buy signal, even though the prices were actually on this particular candle. And that was the low 1753. You could clearly see it there. And so far, we haven't printed the sell signal just yet. Look at BNB. BNB, in fact, printed a weekly buy signal in March and has been expanding ever since. So you could argue that ecosystem has been well looked after, well controlled. A sell signal came for Bittensor TAO on the 23rd of March, right? And you can see here how it falls directly into all the sell signals are at the macro bottom. Every sell signal here comes more or less near the macro top, and every buy signal is almost coming at the macro bottom. At the moment, that is the resistance that it has to get above, around $358. And of course, we did have a sell signal that was printed in March. Of course, since then on the daily, it's printed, or even the 2 days. 2 days ago, on the 9th of May here, it printed a sell signal on the 2 days. And of course, a daily signal on the 10th of May. And you could see from that signal, the price literally had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days consecutive red days, right? You guys can see that it prints a sell here, take profit on that candle. And then the top candle here coincides with the major sell signal there. All right. And we could look at more altcoins here. Again, the market turn, Aave here. Aave is an interesting one to look at on the weekly because Aave obviously topped, and then there was the massive hack. And again, just for signal accuracy, you could see here the massive candle here coincides. This area here coincides with the top of Aave. And guess what? We do have the two, in fact, not just one, but two signals here to sell Aave, right? You could see 1, 2 signals to sell Aave. Then a bottom buying candle formed on the weekly here. This was back on the 6th of April. Of course, it is still relevant. However, if it rolls over on the weekly, or sorry, on the other time frames, the weekly is probably going to supersede that. Let's have a look at Solana. Should you be buying Solana right now? On the weekly, it has printed a 1, 2, 3, 4 buy signals. However, I'm just going to wait for this to play out because at the moment we have the 2-day sell signal. And of course, we have the daily sell signal that came on the 11th here. And you can see again, once you scale this up a little bit, you'd see exactly how that, there you go. Top candle, print of red, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days consecutive of red. Most importantly, what I'm looking for is the weekly print on the macro signal. That is going to change everything because people say, look, Bitcoin has topped and, Bitcoin has bottomed already and the bottom has been in. We don't know that, right? We don't know that. So another coin that people are interested is SUI. SUI topped here at $1, I believe, 43. And since then, of course, we printed that red signal. That was obviously the right signal to either short it, to sell it, or whatever. And now it's rolled back down. But if you look at the weekly, it is overextended. Of course, it printed a major buys 23rd of March. And of course, 1st of December after this massive manipulation candle here. But what you are seeing is if the bottom was in, there you are looking at you are kind of looking at this kind of price action over here, 76, 78. That's where we need to go. Of course, macro candle here around 50 plus on the manipulation candle, 56 cents. Could we go back there for SUI? Potentially. Again, assets can be, as you can see here, on an extended rally, it has stayed above, this level for a number of weeks. So it's giving you one sell signal here, a secondary sell signal here, but you can see the asset was so hot and the money flow was ticking up. So right now, the money flow is pointed upwards, and it means it has a significantly good volume to take advantage of. I'll go through a few others, of course. I have a massive Kaspa family here. We talked about TAO. Let's have a look at CAS. And of course, CAS pretty much is kind of like still money flow, still positive. Short term, 2 days, of course, 2 days ago on the 11th of May, most of these coins printed a sell signal. And 11th of May, of course, again on the daily, same day with the weekly. And the weekly we haven't got, but we are seeing a potential crossover and a rollback here. Money flow, still very positive. So in summary of this video, guys, it has really, my community is different now. My experience is completely different. I'm on a different level. And of course, I will not buy any coins unless they obviously print and give me confirmations of what I'm looking for. If you want to be in our group, costs you only $9 a month. Best group in the world. Come and join the DXB crypto family. Should you be buying coins right now is the question. And again, we are closer on the weekly to their tops than we are to their bottoms. Of course, short term, we may go back to above 80,000 again, but the macro cycle is far from done. Why is that? One, because of if you look at the federal quantitative tightening or the liabilities and of course, the TGA account, what we are seeing is right now after the tax collection, they are, liquidity is tight right now. And what happens is there are two sides to this liquidity. One is the Federal Reserve. The other one is the commercial banks, reserves for depository institutions. And these two have to kind of meet each other. Now, what we saw back in 2020 is this level of injection here, right? You saw massive amount of liquidity being injected into the market. Of course, You could see here back in 2019, 2020 was when it really, really accelerated. And then we had peaked here in the cycle top in 2021. Of course, then there was the pivot in terms of liquidity tightening. And because of that, we had the major crash. So what we need is this monetary expansion of the of what you call the commercial banks, or money that is available to the banks. And as long as this is being hiked, so when this chart goes up, there's less liquidity available, right, for the banks. So essentially, this is your kind of liquidity watch on the Federal Reserve. At the moment, they're printing around $40 billion, and it may not be enough as it stands. All right. So just before I sign off, what is Claude saying? So Claude is saying, okay, I'm going to go for these trades. So he's giving me a bunch of list of trades. First signal, within the next 5 to 15 minutes, histogram goes, does anything, I will be activating direction, whichever way the 1 minute flips it goes, that's the direction it will take. Could counter drift long, slightly down market today. First trade may be a loser. That's fine. We're testing the pipeline. What gets validated is the execution strategy, position manager, hyperliquid order placement. So it's giving me all of that. I restored blah, blah, blah. And of course, what does it say? Its job is to keep us from buying tops and shorting bottoms. So we just need to trade to prove. Okay, perfect. So it's doing its thing. So let me just praise it. Good. Make us some money, right? Because I've already built a strategy. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm telling this that it's going to go and return the Claude monthly subscription. All right. So that's going to be quite key. But anyway, smash a like, follow the channel, of course, as always. This is obviously an important video. Should you be buying Kaspa now? Should you be buying SUI right now? And I hope my video helps you go a long way to making sure that you make an incredible amount of gains in this coming cycle. Take care, guys.